All right. Good morning, Chairperson and Member Garrett. The lobby is open and the recording has begun.
Thanks, Dustin. Good morning, everybody. We will convene the Liquor and Cannabis Board Caucus meeting for Tuesday, March 22nd, 2022. We got a really short agenda and a couple of things we will talk about. First of all, our minutes are not final yet, so we're going to postpone approval of those until we get back together. And then you see, we're going to cancel the scheduled executive management team meeting that was scheduled for tomorrow. This says 3/22, but I think it's 3/23. That would have been Wednesday afternoon. It conflicts with the social equity rules listen and learn session, which Member Garrett and key staff will be attending, and we don't want to have to split people between the two. So we'll put that off till we can reschedule at a different time. We didn't do it right around the end of the session either because it was the day before Sine Die. So we'll be a little overdue for an EMT, but I'm sure it'll be action-packed when we get to it. And I want to talk for a second about the armed robberies we're seeing, and first and most importantly, on behalf of the board and the entire agency, send our condolences to the family and the friends and the coworkers of the bud tender in Tacoma who was killed the other night in an armed robbery there. I spoke to the owner, the licensee, and I mean, you can imagine what it's like to have somebody on your staff, a coworker, gunned down like that. It was just cold-blooded. It's tragic. And it was the third shooting death within a 4-day period in just the Puget Sound area related to cannabis store robberies. The other two were alleged assailants. One shot by a police officer and one shot by somebody, one of the staff. And I'm not sure it was security or just store staff, but it's just so tragic. And I will say, when I talk to the licensee, he's doing what he can to support his employees. That's the most important job right now for him. And to try to look at what to do. When it's incredibly violent crime wave. And when you read these stories and talk to the people involved about people busting in, shooting a gun up into the ceiling, making people lay down on, I mean, it's just the most traumatic kind of event. And we feel that here for these people over the past months, really. We've been hearing from licensees. We've been reaching out to licensees and industry experts about this rash of armed forces. Armed robberies. We've been talking to law enforcement. There were a couple of legislative proposals around this that didn't advance. I can tell you the one thing that is universal is the need to get a safe banking for the cannabis industry. We are so past due for that, and there's a lot of reasons why it hasn't happened. I suppose there's still some new reasons now why it doesn't appear to be happening. But until we can get these legitimate businesses to work with the American banking system like any other legitimate business, we're going to have a problem. But there's a lot to talk about here. And so for the past week or so, we've been working to organize a discussion for next week at next week's caucus. So a week from today on the 29th. We'll do a little bit of board business, and then we're going to spend at least an hour with a roundtable discussion with licensees, including some who have been victims of robberies. We have elected officials confirmed to attend, industry expert. We're hoping a law enforcement representative. We'll certainly have our key staff, including our enforcement and education director and our agency director. We'll have the licensees want to tell their story. They want to ask some questions. They want to ask some questions of each other. The conversations I've been having with them are very positive and productive in terms of working with each other. I know a group of retailers are meeting today on their own to information share and work together, and I applaud that, and we stand ready to help in any way we can. So we will do that as an open meeting like all of our caucuses are. I will have more details. We think we'll be sending something out soon today outlining at least some of the participants and giving formal notice of that meeting. Like I said, it'll be on the 29th. It'll start a little after 10 and take as long as it needs within reason to the commitments of the people who have agreed to join us and talk about it. We will talk about anything. We're going to talk about what stores can do. We're going to talk about what the LCB can do. We're going to talk about what the legislature could do. And we're going to talk about what Congress has to do. And going to try to talk about how best to communicate that as a group. This is a place where regulators and industry and policymakers in the legislature all stand together, as far as I can tell. There is no daylight, so we need to take advantage of that. I do hope people will tune in, as I said, and listen to that conversation, and we will be following up. I know it's not delivering answers, but I have heard from people who want to have this conversation, and I do too. So we're going to engage, we're going to talk, we're going to ask each other questions and challenge each other a little bit about what can be done and see how we can help. And with that is all I have on that front. Like I said, we'll get official notice out very soon. I will pause to check with others. Member Garrett, anything for a board member report today?
No, I have nothing.
Okay, thanks. Dustin, anything more to
add? Nothing additional for me. Thanks, Chair.
Okay, great. Well, thanks, everybody. A very brief meeting, but do hope to see many of you this time next week to talk about that urgent and traumatic issue that's facing all of you and so many others. So, okay, with that, we will adjourn the board caucus meeting for March 22nd, 2022. Thanks, everybody. Have a good day. See you next week.